Hey there guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing, as I had talked about in Camp Nano, my series Bible in Google Drive and Google Docs, just because for me especially, I can't afford programs like Campfire or Scrivener, so I have come up with my own kind of ways to make a series Bible in Google Drive, just because it, for me, is a free option, and I absolutely love working with Google Docs because, you can work wherever you go. So first things first, as you can see with my Google Drive, I have a lot of folders. And things that I'm working on right now are Coyote, Fallout, Wolf Creek, Patrika, Shadow Warrior, and Octavia's Colors. Those are my main projects right now, and I make folders for everything that has more than just like one or two documents to them. Because as you can see, I will scroll down a little bit, there is a ton of stuff down this way that is just different projects, and I like to keep it separately. I like to keep them separate because it's easier than trying to scroll through and be like, oh my god, where's this document? Where is that document? Where is this document? So it's easy enough for me to keep everything into each folder. Like I'll pop in, I'll show you Coyote quickly. We won't be going into this one just because this one I do not have the series Bible set up just yet. I have been working on it, but it is not quite there. Most of it is in this ideas and plot points section, but it has not come to that point. And so as you can see right here, there is 1, 2, 3, and 4 Coyote documents. I tend to do, this is probably the first draft, and then the second, and then this was my most recent draft, and I think this was just I had to make it into a different file. So then I have some information here about food in medieval times, because it takes place in medieval times, and then I have some references of people from the book, just because sometimes for me it's easier if I have like a picture in front of me to describe the person. Other times it's not. I sometimes don't have references for some of my stories, but for Coyote I do. And Coyote Rising is actually the second book. I had started working on it at some point, and then I only got a few pages in and stopped because I focused back on Coyote. There was a ton of different things that I needed to fix, so I went through and I fixed those, and so this one will be worked on at some point in the future. And then Leon's entries, this is a person in the book that has some journal entries that have to do with different points in the story, and so I kind of took them all out because they weren't making sense, and I edit them in this section, and then I put them back in here where needed. So that, for instance, is Coyote. So I will go into Wolf Creek. This is the one I was working on for Camp Nano. And as you can see, I have only a few documents. This is the thing I was keeping track of my words. And I had a little bit of that in my, in one of my vlogs, I had a little bit of that. So if you want to check it out, just make sure to go find that video. I will link it below. I do talk about how I use this to keep track of words, and you can use it for anything, not just like Camp Nano. You can use it for, oh, I want to write 100 words every day this year and make it even bigger. So it's a really helpful sheet. And then I have the first draft here and the second draft here, as you can see, first and second. This is the first book. So I don't know if anyone noticed that during when I was working on things that my NaNoWriMo page said I was working on Wolf Creek, which is the series, and my document said Defiance and Aid. That is the first book, and that is why it is called Defiance and Aid. And so this was the very first rough. When I was in college, I had kind of started this series, and I started at a really bad point in my life, and as much as I loved this, I needed to step back and kind of work on the details before I could actually start writing it. And so I actually left it for a couple years. I think I started it in like 2017, I think. So it's an old series for me, but to be able to finally like get the drafts done and get everything worked out is amazing. So first I'll pop in here just really quickly. This is like the sheet for Coyote. I won't go farther than this because there is some, I don't know if there were like spoilery things down below, but I don't want to go there. So this document's just pictures of horses because I absolutely love horses, and to be able to incorporate them heavily into my story is just amazing. I always try and get either a horse or a wolf in any of my writing just because those are my favorite animals. So that's kind of like my thing, is one or the other will be in my writing somehow. So this whole document is just the horses that you find in the series. So I'm going to exit out of this, and last edit was 16 minutes ago. What did I do to this document? Oh, I think I added someone in. I don't know. And so this is where I keep most of my information. So we're going to open this, and it will take a second. So as you can see here, I have on the side, this is my entire like outline. Google Docs will make an outline if you have like a heading. This is heading 1. This is, I think, heading 2. Yeah. I can go through and click on any of these, and it will take me right to it. So I will go just quickly to characters. I haven't done all the characters. I also, as you can see, there's not a whole lot here, but I had a lot of information that goes through, obviously, the rest of the book, so I removed that for now, and I will add it back in later. I just didn't want to do any kind of spoilering for the series while kind of showing you guys how I work on this. And so you can obviously go through and click on some of these. Some of them I don't have any information on yet. Like, I think her, like, see, there's some of them that I have still to add information, which I am doing. I'm filling this out as I'm going through my second draft. I'm using the first draft and the second, kind of working together to figure out what I need to work on, as well as the outline in this document. So as I hit like Darren and Martin Fisher and Meredith Grimshaw, I am going through and adding information to these characters so they kind of flesh out as I go. Obviously you can do them however, like if you wanted to start them before getting to this point, absolutely. I know I did that with some of my main characters. Like, obviously, like these people are some of the main characters. So I had like paragraphs of information about them before bullet pointing them. And you can do anything you want. You wouldn't have to do bullet points. Bullet points are just easy for me because I can quickly be like, okay. But you could, like, if you wanted, let's do a table maybe. We'll do like this, and you could do like age, unknown, description, and he has white hair, is an average height, white mustache. And the white mustache is listed in there because that is a big feature on Edward. So, like, that is something I definitely want to be able to see when I look at this development kind of thing. Just because I want to be able to have it. His personality, he's very friendly, very forgiving. He is one of the first people to immediately, for John, who is just out of like the jail and the gang and working for the government to try and kind of like get himself out of that life and prove that he wants to do better and he doesn't want to just be this gang member forever. Edward is one of the first people that like just connects with him and is like, okay, this kid wants to do something. Obviously, other than Lucky and John like click, that's like their whole arc. They kind of find a friend in each other. Edward is one that really is just like, oh yeah, he's a good person. And so then you can do other things like family. Helen was the wife and she is gone. You do deceased, and then whoops, I spelled Helen wrong. Don't mind me. I'm like not paying attention, but paying attention. And then Candace, Alice, Emma, Lucille daughters. So you could do multiple different ways of kind of making the characters and still like using this heading. This heading is how they pop up over here. If I were to remove that, just do it normal, you'd see he disappears. So we'll pop that back in and he'll pop back up. So that is how I keep track of my characters, and you could do this. You can insert photos, like if you wanted to like scoot this over and then insert a photo here. Google Docs, like you can do so much with it. So we will go back up to here, to the first book. This is where I also have my outline, and you can do this different ways. Most of the outline is blacked out right now because I do not want spoilers. But I will kind of show you with the first part. Like, this is the beginning, like, 2 chapters. And so right now I just have it as, like, the bullet point. This bold bullet point is just kind of the main scene. Like, this is what is going to happen to the scene. This is what it's kind of about. And then the rest of these points are what happens in this scene. And you could change things as well. You could be like, okay, well, this is going to be, I'll remove this and do, this is going to be chapter 1, just say. This is across 2 chapters, so I'll change it as necessary. And then because this is a heading 2, I think, we're going to go to heading, we'll do 3. And so now you could go down and see, like, all the chapters. So, like, we'll do chapter 2 for this one. And we'll just say this one's chapter 3. And, whoops, make each of these the heading. So now you can easily go from, if you need to check out one of the chapters, you can easily just now click and it will show you all the information necessary for that section. So one thing I also like about Google Docs is this way of linking like something from here to here. So I'm going to highlight Edward. I actually got rid of this link. If you go up to link, and then you can go to headings, and you can see all your headings, and I just got a notification. So you can go down to Edward O'Connell and click and apply. So now there's a heading there. So if you click on this, it brings up this, and you can go click, and it brings you right to his page. So you can easily link those together, and I can do the same thing to, like, we'll do this right here, Defiance and Aid. We'll go link, headings, Defiance and Aid, apply. So now when I click here, click there, it goes right back up to the beginning. So I love that you can do that because it's easy to connect things together. So one thing I am going to kind of show you guys that I did not add is I never put in the locations. There is not a ton in this book. It is mostly all around Wolf Creek, but there are some that I feel like should be mentioned, like that are big kind of hubs. And so I'm going to kind of show you how I enter all this information in as I go. It's already going to put this as a heading. Don't know why, but so locations. And so from here, we will start with, let's say, Wolf Creek. And Wolf Creek is the main town. The train runs to the north, making this a good central location for other smaller towns in the area to come and get products from. We'll just stick with that. You obviously can do a lot more with it. We'll just stick with something just simple for right now, just to, for this, the purpose of this. O'Connell Ranch. Largest ranch in the area, breeds cattle and horses, house for the Maine family, Edward O'Connell and his, whoa gosh, and his daughters. So it's just kind of quick little things. And like the O'Connell Ranch, we have some other little locations in it. So we have the backfield is O'Connell Field behind the house down by the river. Whoops. I think my keyboard is running out of batteries because it keeps missing letters lately. And like more so than just me like fumbling. So I'm pretty sure I have to change those at some point. Down by the river, floods often when there is heavy rain. And then we'll say the West End, O'Connell Field, over by the entrance to the ranch. Borders the river. We'll just stick with that. East End, O'Connell Field, over, oh my gosh, by, over on the east side of the property, bordered by a ridge that leads to a gorge. And then we'll come up here, and because McCarthy's General Store is a big point in Wolf Creek, we will do this. Store, main store in Wolf Creek. Characters go there often, meet other characters there. So now what we're going to do, this is heading 1, so I don't want to use heading 1 again. So I will do Wolf Creek in heading 2 because it is a main location, and the same with O'Connell Ranch. And you can obviously do these however you feel. And so then McCarthy's will be in probably like, I'll say heading 4. And we will remove, like, yeah, there we go. So now, as you can see, over on the side, it says Wolf Creek and then McCarthy's. And so we're going to do this to the others. What did we do? 4, I think? Yeah. 4. So now we can see on the side the locations. It will say the main area and then what's under it. And then main area, what's under it. So these are ways that we can keep track of what is where. I will also be at some point sketching a map. I like to sketch my own maps just because it gives me kind of an idea of where things are. I actually have like this little index card somewhere on this desk that has the O'Connell's Ranch just kind of sketched out on it. And it is a terrible little sketch, but it gets the job done. Like, it shows the trees in the middle and how everything's centered around these trees kind of thing. So that is how I work on that. You can obviously add a ton more into this. Like, for instance, if you had, let's say, a magic system. I will just kind of pop it in here. Magic system. We'll make it a big one again. And we'll say, like, let's go spells. And then we'll say wands. And then mystical creatures. And let's say for mystical creatures, we have Pegasus and a griffin. You can include the information like the characters, or you can just, however you want to have them. We'll do heading, we'll want 2, I think. Then 2. And 2. And then for these 2, we'll do 4 and 4. And so then you could include information, and just like above, like when I had linked things as well, like if he owns a Pegasus. Oh my gosh, I can never spell. You can do the same thing, link, headings, scroll down, Pegasus, apply. So now it leads you right to Pegasus. So this is one reason I absolutely love it. Obviously, you can do whatever you need to with it. What did I put? Did I not do that? Yep. That's where my brain is today, apparently. So this is one way to really keep track of everything, and I absolutely love it, especially with everything on the side here. It's so easy to just skip from one spot to another and make it your own kind of thing. And the headings absolutely help. This outline on the side helps so much. I used to hate it when I was writing like my stories. Absolutely hated it. And then I realized how helpful it could be by having it there to keep track of all this information. And like this document is 18 pages right now. And that's with this one has like 6 pages of outline. If I start adding 6 pages of outline to every other one of these, this is going to get huge. And so this absolutely helps. And one last thing that I know some people tend to like, and I actually removed it because I kind of got tired of it. You can go to Table of Contents and add it with page numbers. And there you go. It has the page numbers next to it. And you can actually come here as well and click and go to places. So we'll go to like Wolf Creek. Boom. So that also is something people might be interested in. I used to like it, but with everything on the side like this, I don't really use this anymore, and I feel like it kind of gets in my way. And obviously if you go and change something, let's go move this, we'll just delete it. We'll go to just normal text and we'll put it back. I think it was like John's is introduced to Lucky. So then we can go up, we'll go up to the very top, and you can see it still says chapter 2 there. There's a little refresher. Boop. Hit the refresher and now it's gone. You can obviously link outside things as well. Like if you go here, you can paste a link or search. So like if I wanted to go add my Spotify playlist to it, I could. I'll do that right now so you can kind of see. So I've got my playlist link and I'll just pop it in there and hit apply. So there's my playlist. So if I wanted it, then obviously I have it. I don't know if you can insert like a little widget or something, but it's here. So like now I could go and open it and it will open to my playlist. So let me know down below, guys, if you have any questions about this entire setup. If you want me to go over anything else, I would be more than happy to. I absolutely love this setup, and it has helped me so much with this series. I hope you guys have also enjoyed it and might be interested. If you are, cool. If not, if you have something that works for you, then like awesome. Whatever works for you is perfect. You do you. You do what you have to do. So if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more in the future, make sure to subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.